Sitting here with Johnny Bedford, man. What's going on?
Just getting ready. We got a big fight this weekend, obviously. I thank you guys for coming out, taking some time to do this for me and, spread the word.
Exciting times for you, man. Let's go back to 2018, man. You get a call about a promotion, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and they tell you, hey, we got a tournament. Are you interested? What were you thinking at first?
Well, the first ever Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship one was actually just a one-fight deal. There was no tournament yet. Pretty cool story. I obviously jumped on the opportunity. I'm a veteran of combat sports of sorts, being a UFC vet, and I've done some pretty cool things. So I was like, yes, I definitely want to be a part of this organization. And, it's just a cool chapter for my book. And that night, they happened to start an 8-man tournament for heavyweights. And I went out there and I put on a pretty good show. And another kid that happened to be at my weight class, I went out there that first night, named Reggie Barnett, went out there and put on a pretty good show. Him and I, collectively, after the fights, we went to after party and, meeting with everyone, all the matchmaker and promoter, everyone were like, so we're next, right? The little guys, 135 is the next 8-man tournament. And we got what we asked for. They announced that they're going to do the next 8-man tournament will be what they called their lightweight division, which is 135 pounds, typically bantamweight in MMA. But it's lightweight for them, and it's just kind of funny that Reggie and I were the ones that asked for the tournament, and they went out and they found 6 other guys to be in the tournament. They put Reggie and I on opposite ends of the bracket. Reggie knows why, I know why, Bare Knuckle knows why. We were the number 1 and number 2 seeded guys in the bracket, and fast forward 2 fights later, 6 other guys were in an 8-man bracket. Those 6 guys are gone. Reggie and I get to find out who's going to be the first ever lightweight Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship champion, right? So.
Yeah, like you said, 3 fights in, you're 3-0. Reggie's 3-0, and at the very beginning of this tournament, you did say it was going to be you and Reggie Barnett in this final tournament. How do you feel you match up with Reggie?
I think I match up well. I've thought this fight was coming for a while now. I've watched his fights. He brings real skills to the table. He's got a pretty extensive amateur boxing background. He still competes actively as a professional boxer as well. He's got some MMA fights, but he's definitely not an MMA guy. But he brings real skills to the table. I'm not going to, deny that. I'm a fan of Reggie Barnett, but I think I'm a really bad matchup for Reggie Barnett. I think my style matches up bad for him. I'm going to be in his face. I'm going to make it a dogfight, and I think when that happens, I think that I'm going to come out on top. I'm the big dog in the yard, and it's going to prove that Saturday night.
Being with 3 fights in, you're going to have the experience. Your first fight, you took some damage. Your second fight, you took a little more damage. And your last fight, against a younger fighter, you kind of came away unscratched. Was there something that you learned in those first fights?
My first one was pretty one-sided as well. I may have took a couple shots, but it's pretty one-sided. The second fight, definitely wasn't my best performance. It was the opening round of the tournament. I fought a guy named Matt Murphy. He's got a bunch of fights. Bad record, but he does have a bunch of experience. So he's done that walk a bunch. And truth be told, I went in there injured, without a weapon. I had a broken hand. I've unfortunately dealt with hand injuries most of my career. I mean, you can look at the difference in my right and my left hand. They're pretty. But I went in there with a busted up hand and had to kind of make it an ugly fight. Clinched up with him, abiding by the rules of Bare Knuckle with the allowance of clinching, and I can grab onto you and dirty box and all those things. So I had to do what I had to do to get a win there. As you saw, the semifinals was pretty one-sided. I don't think I took many shots at all. I didn't get any cuts or anything like that. It's having the experience matters. Knowing how to play this game matters, and because these guys that try to do it for the first time, they think it's going to be like a boxing fight, and it's not. When your hands aren't taped and you don't have gloves on, you don't get to throw the shots that you think you can throw. You're going to find that out real quick.
Like you said, you took care of business in the semifinals. What do you think of Reggie's fight? That fight got a lot of hype, but it didn't live up to that. What do you think of this fight?
Typical Reggie fight. Reggie's going to try to outpoint you and win rounds and not get hit, and he did a fairly good job of that. He clearly won the fight. There's a bunch of controversy with the promotion threatening to take the other fighter's purse and all that stuff with him involved, but it didn't end up happening. I'm glad that Bare Knuckle, they did the right thing. But Reggie fought a punching bag. Reggie fought someone who didn't want to get hit by Reggie and that backed up the whole time and ran away from him. We're going to see how Reggie reacts when he's the one getting pushed back and when I'm the one in his face pushing the pace. And I don't think anyone's done that to him yet. And I'm the guy to find out how well he can fight backing up.
You fought on all the biggest stages. What do you make of your career up to this point? You're making history of sort. You are first on a pay-per-view for Knuckle once it got sanctioned. Now you're looking to become possibly the first lightweight champion for that organization. Have you gone back and looked at your career and just kind of sat there and let it all sink in up to where you're at right now?
I have. I've had a good career. I've had being honest with you and with everyone. I've had a lot of ups and downs. The UFC didn't necessarily pan out the way I wished it had. I left the promotion with a questionable 2-3-1 record. Officially in the UFC, I would argue that I was 4-2. Had a couple controversial fights not go my way, but nonetheless, I've had lots of ups and downs in my career through mixed martial arts and now bare knuckle boxing and everything, and I'm blessed. I'm lucky to get to do to live the life that I've chosen to live. I've got to do some really cool things. I've got to fight for the UFC. I've got to be part of the first ever bare knuckle show, or bare knuckle fighting championship card in 131 years last June. And now, yes, I have an opportunity to obviously cement my name in the history books of being the first ever lightweight bare knuckle fighting championship champion. Walking away with that belt this Saturday will be obviously cementing my name in the combat sports history book. So I'm fortunate. I put a lot of work to, nothing's given to you. I've busted my ass to reach some of the heights that I've reached. I've made personal mistakes that have taken those great opportunities away from me as well, such as the UFC, letting personal issues and stuff get in the way of performances. But it is what it is. I can't go back. I got to just, keep moving forward. I'm very thankful and very fortunate for Bare Knuckle for them making this happen at this time in my career, and it just couldn't have worked out any better. I think I'm kind of made for this sport, and we're gonna cement some history for sure on Saturday night.
Winning this title, what would that mean to you?
It would mean a lot, right? It would be the first ever. I didn't put it in perspective as that, but actually my business partner and Evan Cutts mentioned it the other day. He goes, "This is a really big deal." He goes, "You get to be the first ever." And I was like, "Man, it really is a big deal." I didn't put those external pressures on it, but it really is a big deal. I mean, this is something people can't be talking about 100 years from now. That the first guys that did this, and that first guy that went out there, I'm going to be the first one to ever become 4-0 in bare knuckle boxing, and be their first ever 135-pound champion. So I'm really excited about it. Just a lifelong of work to get here, and we're ready.
Yeah, it's like you said, the first event, they weren't thinking about doing more events. Now look, and they're at number 6, and who knows?
They've already announced 7.
Yeah, 7's coming up. I mean, potentially you might be on that one. Who knows? We'll find out after Saturday.
Yep.
But,